Well, guys, I'm bored. I don't know how this ended up coming to be, but it is the perfect wrong timing. Young Lennox still happening. Impact Cure still happening. No Game 3s. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone is waiting. I think maybe Crank is in one of those series, so you can go visit his channel, Crank TV, to catch something, but it's just the perfect little area of no games. Young playing a Vilo style against Lena. Yeah. I don't know. Impact Cure, I figure wouldn't be happen in the same exact way, but that is also a TVC, and Cure has played mech in the past. Oh my god, Ron and Lennox are still 0-0? Oh, jeez. Well, it seems like the best bet is that we're going to be getting into a game number 2 somewhere. Which is, you know, fine. I just didn't want to get into a game. And you get a Narasaku found with a 44-month resub. Damn. Adding to the Poke Bunny also hosted for 100 viewers. Thanks, Poke Bunny. And Ganchathor87 resubbed quite a while ago for 37 months. Oh, yeah. Entirely missed that one. Oh, there's some other good Korean StarCraft happening I see on the Team Liquid sidebar. A lot of good names over at this Masters Coliseum thing. So many tournaments. I'm trying to plan a trip to Japan before I leave Korea. It's been a little difficult though with all the new casting gigs coming up. Nothing is set in stone past 48 hours, maybe even 24 hours. That's weird. Anyways. Impact is out of game. Please tell me that series is over. Thank you to Tatty GG TV for the 6-month resub. Oh, Curious Impact is 1-1. They're gonna need a lobby for that. Yeah, I'm still in Korea. I would expect people to be able to tell by my background, background. And the lack of cats. You put on some music and breaks, so don't give me a heart attack. Wouldn't that still be surprising though if I pause the music and then start talking anyway? I don't want to do it because I'm lazy. But maybe. Alright, yeah, the players are asking if they can go, and I wasn't the host, so I couldn't say. But finally we hear the beeps. Thank you to Liwu for the 20-month resub. And now we can finally get into a game. Oh my god. That took forever. It's going to be Cure versus Impact, tied up 1-1. Dear lordy. Here we are. Best of 3, 1-1. Swap them around, do the thing. And we are on Proxima Station in the top right as the red Zerg. It is Impact. In the bottom left, as the yellow Terran, it's Cure. And unless I'm just hallucinating, Olivia did say 1-1 before getting us into a lobby, so pretty sure that's accurate. So if, you know, on the VODs, I guess you're watching this on YouTube, then just clarification that we did not cast Game 1 or 2. There was a big old lull where we finished a round of 8, and then the other round of 8s just were still not done. I have Crank's channel up right now, and I see that even with a 3-minute delay, this has been a 28-minute game between Rung and Leenock that apparently isn't going to be over quite yet, so that's kind of insane. I imagine Cure and Impact, I mean, they've played 2 games, so that kind of makes up for the time that they've been spending, the fact that they've actually played 2 games. Other guys have only played 1 so far. But I also can imagine that Cure played a bit of a mech of his own. These guys are pretty evenly matched for each other, so whether it's mech or just good old-fashioned bio versus Mutilating Bling, that it took a while. Went to the macro game. Love to see Cure again, though. I see Impact every now and then. They're certainly a solid Zerg, but Cure, you know, he was playing in a lot of tournaments 3 years ago. He was one of our favorite Terrans because he was playing. You know, this is at a time where we weren't getting the likes of Innovation and Byun and I can't think of any like really big name Terrans right now that play. But the point is, like, right, like we don't get these huge Terran names. We had Gumiho, who was playing mech on Deadwing. That was during that time, and we had yeah, I think that was really, like, even Keen and Ally weren't playing so much. So then Cure came along with, like, Journey. And so we loved these guys. They actually played in our tournaments. So the only Koreans to do so. Cure had a really fun style. Cure had a bit of a period, too, like of 3 months, where I think he was the up-and-comer of the Terrans. And then he just kind of disappeared, which sucks, but c'est la vie. He went to a Red Bull DC. I got to see him and meet him. Honestly, not gonna lie, I got him and Trapped confused. They both play for Jin Air at the time, I guess. I don't know if Trapped still does. And they kind of look similar. But yeah, I loved Cure. Liked his playstyle, liked how, you know, he played in our tournaments, and just all around good. But then it stopped, you know. Jin Air said, I don't know, no more tournaments for years, and I don't know what's changed, but I'm glad to see him back in the Olimoleague and some other tournaments I think he's been playing in more recently too. Jin Air, like, has definitely the old Kespa rules to it more so than anyone else because it's the only Kespa team that's left over. But apparently they still let some players play in some things, so it's not as strict as it once was. But enough for the background of the players. We do have a Widowmine drop from a Reactored Factory here. Reaper Scout to the 3rd base. Not too shocking there. And Impact is going to be going for Pneumatized Carapace to get some full scouting on what Cure is doing. Don't know how the first 2 games went, so I can't say if there's a Hellbat push or that was mech or not. This might be one of the reasons that Impact wants this fast Overlord speed. The Widowmines can take out Overlords, and by the time you have that medevac ready to go, they will be rearmed, so perfectly executed right there. Trying to read chat and I was just getting confused. Alright, well. Widowmine drop now with 4 Widowmines. Impact's gonna have to split even with the Spore Crawler ready to go. His drone's got a little bit trapped, but it looks like it should be good enough. He's gonna try and pick up and put that wood of mine somewhere else. That one dies, 2 live, 1's armed, but there aren't many drones over here, so no matter what, it won't be too devastating. And in fact, how does that not reach? There we go. Not really the best wood of mine drop ever, but the medevac didn't die, and he managed just to save one of the wood of mines too, so I would say that's okay. It is bio behind this with stim over halfway done, 3rd CC, production all getting set up. And the medevac, I don't know, I guess gonna plant the wood of mine somewhere random and hope to catch a couple of banelings. For impact, +1 carapace. No lair quite yet. And only a single upgrade. Of course, we've had some Zerg players going for Ling Banling Hydra, become the new, almost the new standard. But this is not. Okay, well that medevac did not survive, despite what I said. 4 queen drop is like really weird. It's especially effective against anything that opens with 1-1-1 primarily and stays on 1-1-1, especially for too long. There just isn't a lot of units to deal with this. You're gonna have to swap your tech to a Viking, as you see Kier does right now. Your tanks can actually be caught in the dead zone. It's pretty annoying. I would say that bio is especially effective against the queen drop, but as you saw, you know, Kier couldn't quite respond. The mineral lines, you know, derped him out. Stim wasn't, couldn't be used, and the medevacs, a lot of them died. 2 died, the 3rd one got pretty low. Oh no! Okay, well, that worked out. See, the thing is that would have might have focused the overload, it kills it, so I thought that's what Kier was gonna do. Not the case. Oh, it's still gonna die. Was that worth the loss of 4 queens? I don't know. That's always so questionable. But they did end up getting those 2 medevacs that I mentioned, so maybe? Maybe. There is that Hydralisk Den. Hydra's pretty good unit. What is leaking over here? Oh, you guys. You guys are leaking. Excuse me. Oh, we got double drops going to the main base. A Spore Crawler, very obnoxiously placed. Very. But a little bit of micro, and that will be taken out. Other Spore Crawler's going to move forward to the exact same position. The Queen's going to try and tug these medevacs. He has to live right now if he wants to get out of there. He does. Barely alive. 2 more shots would have killed that, looks like. 1 has finally started for Cure, so his upgrades were a little bit delayed, but, you know, with Impact going only for 1 Evolution Chamber, it works out kind of perfectly. Centrifugal Hook's going to be done by the time Cure really pushes, and Hydras are on the way. Some decent creep spread, not totally, truly impressive, but okay. And a 4th base as well. Can't target fire that medevac quite enough, so she continues to live. Viking as well, looking for overlords to kill. Maybe try and snipe some of these. But I did not get a very good shot either. Combat shields just to finish up. 3rd CC on the way. A bigger drop. One that hasn't lost its Marines quite yet. Headed to the 4th base. This could do a lot of damage. But gets a decent shot, and that hatchery down below 50% health is, well, it's going to be difficult to protect. You got 2 medevac drops coming around here. Creep spread not quite connected between these bases. Yeah, he's going to have to pre-split the army and hope that that's good enough. It should be. Impact's at 76 drones, so he should be just making nothing but army and actually have the units to spread around here. Thought about going in for the more banelings. This is a quadruple drop, and no Hydras are left here to try and take out the medevacs. He should just land anyways. I mean, it's unfortunate because he probably could have dragged and dropped to really be effective against those banelings. But okay, opportunity lost. It's gonna go for the natural base, however. A lot of the army's over here and trying to kind of just get the surprise factor here for Impact. But Impact paying attention takes out this drop. That could have been done. If it was 5 seconds later, that's probably a beautiful drop right there. Although Impact is leaving a big portion of his units. Portion of his units over here, too. Takes out a full medevac, almost a second one. Impact dealing with Cure's harassment quite nicely now that he has the unit to do so. Cure should probably just give up on the drop idea. He's not going to get the 3rd base, apparently. And he's going to have to go for a more direct approach. He had been on a factory with a reactor for a long time, so unfortunately for him, his tank count isn't very high, but hopefully to grow. 2 tanks at a time. 2 medevacs still survive. Changelings. 2 medevacs still survive. That's enough to threaten a drop, but that's something that started off with 6 drops, you know? That's a bad Bad loss for Cure. Okay, scanning my base. Sees the Infestation Pit. But, just finishing. Baneling drop in the natural. Doesn't get too much done, surprisingly. Oh, game art's not on. That might have been all 11 SCV because I wouldn't know. I don't have my crutch, that is game heart. Hive does starts, continuing to scan to see if there's opportunities to drop somewhere, but pretty perfectly split up army here from Impact. Can't even try and snipe those Banelings with the Hydra's also guarding them. 5th base taking out the gold. Kier gonna go for a drop. He could probably cancel that if he knows that it's there, but a Link might have scouted it. Impact's vision also pretty good, just want to note. And the Creep Sprig and the Overlord spread. There's a couple of Lings every here and there. He's the Medevac's coming into the main base, but hasn't sent units back. Yep, there they are. Lings and Hydras should be enough. Equal upgrades. +2 Carapace about to finish for the Zerg player. Lots of attacks going every which way. This one not going to do very much, though. This one might get the cancel. Nah, not going to try and target fire it down. Just going to leave. Not feeling so hot for Cure. His drops really haven't been that impressive. And as such, his main attack doesn't look that impressive. What are these units even doing here? What? Oh, that was weird. That tank definitely should not have been out there. The Marines, you know, I guess they're replaceable, but the tank definitely not. 2-2 is about to finish, and Cure does have tank cover in his natural, so I don't think Impact should be pushing this issue right now. But he can probably stop Cure from getting a 4th base very easily. And that could be very effective as he gets up to an Ultralisk Cavern and Vipers. This gold base is, in fact, going to be targeted down this time. Saves one medevac full of units. These medevac drops, forcing a pull off of drones. Looking not to get too many. Oh, but then they go back into the slaughterhouse. Gets about 2 or 3 more there. This drop was successful. Got the 4th. So in the blink of an eye, 3 drops. 3 little groups of units got a lot of damage done. Still not a very high drone count kill for Cure, but at least that did something. Most of that distracted to kill this base and kill that base, and that's still pretty good. 4th base also able to be planted on location because Impact had to respond to that. He could not try and stall this out, so it's going to turn into a planetary. We have a very, very powerful siege tank line. It started late, the production that is on the tanks, but it got to double production, so it's good to go now defensively. More Liberators are definitely going to be needed, though. 2nd starport, more barracks, more upgrades. I believe the scans went down probably in the main again. No, actually on the army. And a bit of creep tumor cleanup. Well, Impact's looking for a 4th base that isn't there. Could be a 5th though. Nothing wrong with opening these rocks. Could even open up these rocks. This would be like a 2nd game I would see if these rocks were opened. Oh, there you go. Attack back in the natural. Another scan went down somewhere too. Not sure where though. Takes up, leaves. This is a Viking. This medevac down here, not doing very much. These rocks protected by a Liberator. Cure has reached a very good army, but it might be unwise to move out with it. He does get into a decent position, I suppose. Tanks are siege, Liberators are siege. Blinding Cloud does hit a lot of those tanks, but dang, that is just a huge army with a lot of powerful units. And Impact, even with that huge concave, even with the Blinding Cloud, cannot take on that army. There's only a couple of Ultras too, so they really weren't that helpful. These drops are finally being cleaned up, so Impact can finally just bring the might of his army to the front. But certainly that contributed to what looks to be a very uneven fight, that so much army supplies has been littered around or building in the larva with those Ultras. The Lings did manage to get through, but not doing too much damage. Gets 3 more SCV kills. More scans to clear up the creep to see what the army looks like. 5 Ultras are on the way. That's going to be a lot beefier, but they're so late that the Liberator count has risen. 3-3 might be done. The tanks weren't really touched. They're getting into a good ledge. They're getting on a choke now too. I mean, this was okay because the siege tanks and Liberators were already sieged, but it was still a nice concave for the Zerg if Impact had a good army to stand with. He just didn't at the time. And now with a choke, it's going to be so hard to break. We got a lot of transfuses with those queens finally joining in. A couple of fungals too. But this army is not about, you know, big chunks of bio. It's about tanks and liberators. So fungals really aren't going to be the most impressive thing in the world. Tanks just taking away ultras as they rally in here. Drop once again going into that natural base. Cure just so insistent with these drops. I mean, I want to, like, the first 5 didn't really do very much. But then the next 6 ended up doing quite a lot. Oh, he's scanning for burrowed infestors. I want to make sure that it wasn't going to ruin his game, but like I said, with so many tanks and liberators, it's less about the fungals on your army and more just about the pure power that is tank fire and liberator fire, both with at least +1 upgrade, not too shabby there. Some corruptors have popped out, and because there is so little bio, the corruptors could probably start sniping some of these liberators, but they're over top whatever Marine Superior does have, and they're already dying. They're trying to focus fire. A couple fungals go down too. A big concave as Cure has gone past the ramp and past the choke, but Cure, he does get broken, still has an okay army supply. He has 5 bases. He's killed Impact's natural. He denied him the gold base. And he has killed a lot of drones, so Impact down to 39 after 39 have died in total. All Cure has to do is hold. He has a planetary, he has a couple missile turrets on the way. He doesn't have a lot of anti-ultra units, but Marauders will do the job if there's nothing helping those ultras. If there's no Lings to surround the Marauders, if there's no fungals to keep them in place, then they can do a decent job against pure ultra. But there are still those transfuses, a couple Hydras to help out too. It's a little bit scary, but I think Cure still got this. This base also a planetary. No Runbar is going to be able to destroy that. Liberators do come out maybe in the nick of time. As Impact was thinking about it. Decides not to, but what is the macro game really going to look like for a Zerg player? Liberator harassment's going to go down to this little ledge. Liberator harassment over here. Impact. Oh, there we go. Does respond with the corruptors. They're looking to pee on the building. Does Cure realize that's the situation? Not sending any Marines over. Might just lose that planetary. I don't think he realized that's what the corruptors are doing. Otherwise, he might have sent his Marines over. He might have tried to build missile turrets nick of time. You cannot out-repair this. If you can lift and leave immediately, you can sometimes out-repair it. But if it's just stationary, it's just going to die. He immediately replaces it, though. He was banking a little bit, and he is back to max already. So Impact, I mean, great on him to use the Corruptors to the best of their ability. He just kind of barely missed the Command Center going back down. But if he saw that, it wouldn't feel very good. It just means that Cure is in a super, super good position. It's not as scrappy as Impact would hope. We're back to a position of having so many tanks, a couple Liberators, but a much bigger Bioforce. This is where Fungals would actually be brutal, especially combined with like a Blinding Cloud or a couple of Banelings. Is it an Ultra Run By? It is an Ultra Run By. I'm able to cancel the stack defense as well as the Command Center. It's going to force Cure to pull back with a couple of units anyway. Liberators and Marauders. Saves the planetary. Would-be planetary, I should say. On top of the Corruptors. Oh no, Impact losing quite a few. Not just for killing the Liberators as we saw, but also killing buildings. A little less powerful in doing both jobs now that so many of them have died. In total, let's see here, 6 have gone down. Impact trying to buy that time necessary. He's placed this base was recovered a long time ago. This base was fully mining for most of the time. This base is new. But as you can look at the mini-map, it's not a good situation for the Zerg. Once again, Cure taking advantage of the ramp. As long as he's mostly on this side, the choke will be brutal. But once he tries to push forward to the hatchery, that's when Impact took that fight. That made it look okay, but overall still wasn't good enough. And here he comes, trying to go down a ramp. This is just going to be an absolute slaughter, even with the blinding clouds, even with whatever fungals he has something to throw down there. It doesn't matter. Absolute slaughter. The air does go down to the Corruptors, so every sim will hurt, but tanks survive. And I'm sure you can just remake those medevacs with 3 starports. Scanning ahead, making sure that he's not running into a bunch of banelings or a bunch of fungals and ruining the game. Ultras over here are getting quite a few SCVs. Not too shabby. SCVs, please, go into the jets. Go into the Liberator Zone. No. But is that going to be enough? No, not really. GG. Cure, after a very long best of 3, ends up taking the best of 3 and advancing him to the semifinals. So finally, we'll be able to start that. It'll be Cure versus Hero at TVP. The other semifinals will be Gumio versus the winner of Young Lenok, which is still happening. Good God. Or maybe it hasn't been updated. I don't know, Crank's on a break right now, but I do believe we'll be doing Hero Cure first. So before that lobby is set up, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Thanks for watching, everyone.